Hello, Pat Skeets here from meandmycricket.com. I'm going to do an album share today. These are nature pages, and I'm sure they're from COVID, so they're mostly little critters in my backyard, but I thought I would show them anyway because number one, they're cute. Number two, they can be used for hiking and camping and kids playing outdoors, or maybe you're bird watchers like we are. So I thought that you might be able to use some of these pages. So these are all found on my website. There's a link below. It's called meandmycricket.com. And there are design space links for all the pages there. And you can find these pages in Everyday Life Scrapbook number 50. I have well over 100 albums of pages there, all with design space links, so you can copy them if you like them. So I hope you enjoy these pages. First of all, we have squirrels. We feed the birds, so it attracts, with all the seeds, it attracts little critters. So we have squirrels and chipmunks and lots of birds. Now, for this page, I found this acorn paper. I thought that'd be perfect for a squirrel page. So, because the photos, I always go by my photos to pick paper. They're brown and green. So I found a multicolored print in brown and green. And then I picked a coordinate off of it using the colors that are in here. So this is the brown and cream. And I could have picked orange or a rust color here too, but which I did for odd here and there pops of it here and there. So anyway, I created a wide border for the bottom, and then this is a Creative Memories border that I used along here. I rep them, so I buy a lot of their embellishments, and so I did create a cluster with their embellishments here, another grouping here with the title, and then up here with that's a puffy sticker of an owl. So is this. They're cute. So the rest is Cricut. I found these really cute images of squirrels, a girl and a boy squirrel, in Miss Kate Cuttables. She has like 30 cartridges in Cricut Design Space in Access. So if you just pay the yearly fee, you get access to hundreds of thousands of images. Anyway, here is a frame with a squirrel on it, and this frame is from Cindy Lou cartridge. I remember that one. Has really cute frames in that cartridge. And this one happens to have a squirrel, so it was perfect. And then I just double matted these photos here. So I used leaf embellishments again from the Creative Memories. But this is a squirrel border from, I think it's Animal Kingdom. Anyway, this is cute squirrel border. And then I just put it on an embellishment card here with some leaves on top of that. So added the little pop of orange behind it. It's like a fence border back there. Anyway, that's a cute critter page, I think. I like our little squirrels. They're cute. Okay, we have a bird bath in our yard. So this is pictures of the robins and taking a bath, and then the other birds waiting their turn. So on this page, I cut the background paper. It's leaves and nature and in the colors of robins and grass, the colors of my photos. So I found this paper and a coordinate for the background. So I did cut them smaller than the page so I'd have a border around there. So I did a border at the top here with 2 rows of this striped print, and then the same at the bottom on this page to create balance. and I put my 5x7 photo here and two 4x6s. I cut this one in a square, and this one I used a Creative Memories frame behind it and a different chipboard frame from Simple Stories, and I just put a pretty patterned paper inside this frame, and I repeated that paper on this side. There's a different frame. This is another Creative Memories die cut. I like their laser cut frames and pages and that, so I buy them a lot, and that's another one used here. So this frame and this frame are from the Creative Memories ones. Then I used their bird border punch because it's all birds. I used it for a border across the top of this page, and it's getting crooked there. Okay, and then this is a die that when I saw it, I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought it was beautiful. So this is the first time I'm using this die. All bird cages and little birds all over, and they're all strung. Oh, I just love this die. Anyway, and I do scrap a lot of bird pictures because we feed the birds and we take pictures of them all the time. I added another little border along the bottom here because it was just too big an empty space for me. And then this beautiful border goes up and down. It's a vertical border, which is rare. Usually they're horizontal. So I added one on the outside of each page. And then I did a cluster here with Creative Memories embellishments. Quite a large one. I did another cluster on this side. So bird cages, and added a bird image. And just leafy things, backyardy things. Did a little title up here, Collect Beautiful Moments, on a tag. This is a punch from Creative Memories too, the tag. It does 3 different sizes of tags in the one punch. It does 1 inch, 2 inch, and 2.5 inch. So a very handy punch to have. And then this is another border maker punch from Creative Memories. I love borders, and so I buy border punches a lot. And when Martha Stewart stopped making them, and Creative Memories was out of business, it was terrible for me. So anyway, Creative Memories came back, and they have all kinds of border punches, so I love it. Anyway, great outdoor page, good for camping or hiking or walking, kids playing in the backyard, whatever. I think all these pages are multi-purpose. You just have to think outside the box. Now this would be so pretty for a girly page. I have birds here on our feeders, but I think it's really pretty girly page with the flowers and the bird cages. You could do shower, wedding. Just take this branch off. It's a bit, and it'd be a beautiful page for feminine. Anyway, I love this beautiful paper, the pink and green, so I have a coordinate for the border. And I found 2 beautiful bird cages in Design Space. This new gorgeous floral, so I used it for 2 different corners. Found this great big branch and put a butterfly on it. I added butterflies to just have something else going on the page. And then I embellished it all with this border punch. Or it's not a punch, it's a K & Company border from my stash. I also embellished all these 2 corners with Creative Memories laser embellishments. They're from the Bloom collection, the green section of the blooms. So I have a favorite corner punch, and I use it occasionally on pictures. This just did the corner, and this one too. Oh, all 3 of them I did. Yeah. So that's cute. And then I found a coordinating print to use this, like to repeat this. I use this for a mat on this photo. So I did emboss the leaves on this image. So it gave it depth, and then I inked it so that they would show up more. It looks more like a patterned paper. So another, oh, this one's cute too. I'm telling you, these new images in Design Space are just so inspiring. How cute is this? Okay, this all came from my owl. I have a metal owl that I stick, I have two of them actually, and I stick them inside my big planters. There, you can see them there. And so that's what inspired this page. This paper is gorgeous. It's from Michael's Reflections pad. I just love it. I think it's from there. Anyway, on my website, where the Design Space links are, there's also a better description of the pages. It tells you where the paper does come from, and which cartridge each of the images on the page comes from. So that should it makes it easier for you. If you say you like this owl and you wanted some different ones, you can go to that cartridge and see there's probably 15 owls in it. So, or if you like the look and you wanted a tree to match it, you'll find, you know, this kind of leaf, so it coordinates very well. So I did do a tree here. I did the same tree on both pages here. So anyway, in the first place, I just arranged my photos and put the big one there. I cut, this is a 12 by 12 sheet. I cut the corner off each side, and I pushed it out to here and out to there from what I cut off of there. I matted it with bright yellow so that it would show up better. It's just a pop of yellow because there's a few yellow flowers on the paper. And then I found these great trees, this flower pot of geraniums, because I do plant geraniums in my pots. And then this owl, of course I had to do the owl. The picture told me I had to do the owl. And then I have, they're just pictures from my garden. So I love this. And then this was so empty up here. I used an image of like a doily, and I just cut it out in the green from the same as the leaves. So that was a beautiful page because the paper's so beautiful. I just love pretty papers. Great for hiking or camping or in the woods, whatever. Nice outdoor nature pages in this grouping. Okay, I guess y'all know I feed the birds, so we have lots of bird pictures. And during COVID, what else were we going to do? Take pictures of birds. So I love these. This is a floral image from an old Cricut cartridge, and I just love it. I can't remember which one, but it'll be posted on, you know, where to go. So I repeated it twice on each page, and then I have a die for grass, but I'm sure in Design Space I did a grass border for you to copy. So you'll be able to do the same thing. And then I just did a black border behind it so they would really pop because they are blackbirds. That's why I added the black for pop. And I did emboss it, and it's just polka dots. So it has texture. I guess if you can't see, I can show you how it makes a difference embossing things. So then I found a pretty black background paper with red and yellow flowers. It's so nice when you have the perfect paper, isn't it? So I used it for frames. I did small frames so I could fit so many pictures on the page in the top half of the page. So, and then I used the alternate ones are in red. A mini print, a small print, tone-on-tone red pattern paper, using the same style frame for all of them. And then this is just at the end. I had my bird images. I couldn't find a red-winged blackbird, so I just did a wave and cut it out in red and yellow and stuck it on top because of the the stripe that they birds have. So I thought that was just my way of fixing it. Okay, then I added embellishments. Just added a butterfly here and put it on a lifter. The background here, this was too plain behind the bird and this big blotch. So I had this die, so I used that. And I did a cluster up here too. So it sort of gave me 1, 2, 3 clusters, and then my whole border is like gigantic grouping. It was so fun to do this, and I absolutely love it. Very high impact. So again, you could, instead of doing birds, you could do anything on this page. Kids, I think it's juvenile because of the flowers. Be cute for a kid's page. Okay, we have more birds, more COVID pages. I'm always 2 years behind, so that's why they're just getting done now. Okay, this is so pretty, the colors. Love this paper. I think it's Bow Bunny. Yeah, it's really pretty. Okay, so I just used swallowtail border here and here. This is cut out from this pad, this Bow Bunny pad. It has a page of cutouts. So this happened to be a bird and a bird bath. So I'm doing a bird theme here. And so I did I repeated a bird bath image here. Did this paper coordinates from the same, and it has this border already on it. So I did a border of bird baths, and behind it I did this rickrack in the teal color because it went with it. So just to make it pop a little bit. Oh, I have another tag here, swallow tag here in the stripe. Just found to use, so this is, I used this pattern coordinate for a frame, and then I used it for a tag here. Repeating these papers on both sides, both pages. And I double matted all these photos. Put a title here, Precious. This is laser cut from Creative Memories. And this is, I think it's from, it's not Art Nouveau, might be. Clusters. They're embellishments. I just love them. So I used some embellishments around the bird bath. I used some here to create a cluster. There is a cluster on the paper here. I didn't do anything with that. And then I created a cluster here with a bluebird image. We never get bluebirds. So this was a treat for us to see bluebirds. And so I found a branch and a bird and then a word. I grouped them all together and then created 2 offsets, the turquoise and the white, so that they would show. And then I lifted this up and put it here. And then I just added the words remember to this. More flourish here, another flourish up there, just at the top of this, so it looks like it's hanging off of something. Anyway, a cute outdoor page would be, it's very feminine too and pretty. I think you could do little girls on this page. And the next one is chipmunks. This is our resident chipmunk. So they're just my backyard pictures and the patio and the deck. So with the fence around the hot tub, there's I have artwork on there, so it's in the rust colors and that to go with the cushions. So that's my color scheme, and the chipmunk too fit right in. So I did find this paper in a fall pad that I have, and it has all acorns and leaves on it, so I thought it sort of went with the chipmunk theme with the nuts and that. So I found this really cute chipmunk image. It's from Cindy Lou. I remember that cartridge. And then I added the acorn and oak leaf here, and then a cluster here with an image of acorns and leaves, and then an acorn on top, and then this beautiful corner of acorns, and I think this is from Art Nouveau cartridge. Just added some leaves here, clusters all over. Just created a kiwi lane borders at the bottom in this stripe that coordinates with this print, and then a brown paper that's a tone-on-tone floral, mini floral. It went well with this paper up here, so I just had to add a border up top to fill that space in, all up there. And by cutting the pictures in ovals, it left more of the, I could fit more photos on the page because they could overlap. And then I could fit this here. I just tucked it under this layer. And it just, you can fit more on the page. I added a few embellishments in my title. This I did. I scrunched the letters together. I used the text in offset, or in design space. Then I make them closer and closer till they join. Then I weld them. And then I did 2 offsets on it. So that you're not putting together all these different letters. It cuts out as a word if you weld them all together. So I do that a lot with my titles now. So that's another nature page. You could use this for hiking or camping or cottage or summer. Anything outdoors. And here's another one. Every once in a while we get a huge flock of American starlings, and hundreds of them will land in my neighbor's trees and eat at our feeders and bathe at our bird bath. Anyway, we had a whole bunch of them here one day, and we happened to be lucky enough to spot them. So with my photos in these colors, I picked black background, and then I cut this paper smaller to fit inside. So I guess it's 11 by 11, the 2 backgrounds. And then I trimmed some of these photos so that I could fit them better on the page and not be so crowded. I like room for images on my pages and for the pretty paper to show. So I found this lovely fern image. Here's another one. This one's from Botanicals. I remember that. And then this is a repeat of that. I just flipped it so it's going the opposite way. And this is a circle frame that's all greens, and it looked a lot like these, so actually it probably goes with this from the same cartridge. So there's a wreath here. I used that for a background. And then this was empty here in this corner, so I did a doily type circle image behind and just showed some of it. And then I did a cluster with Creative Memories embellishments here. Added some to the bottom there, just a little here and there, black leaves outlined, and created a cluster with this, repeating this image, and all these little leaves, a title, and just created a 1, 2, 3 clusters, but I actually have 5 images on the page. Pretty outdoorsy page. Nice. And now we have another bird page. Okay, so look at this background paper. That had all the trees and the birds on it. I'm not sure where it's from. Double-sided pad. Not sure. It'll say on my website. Love that paper. Okay, so it was perfect for my little birds in winter. They're poking out of the bushes right outside our kitchen window. We hang our feeders there. And then you can, this is a Creative Memories page. This whole image, it's a laser cut with the frames, everything. You just stick it down, you put your photos behind. Pretty perfect. It does the whole page, real easy. 2 photos. I just added a bit of coordinating paper back here and here on either side. And that page is done. Easy. Nothing to it. And so this paper really coordinated well with it. So I did want to repeat this background on this side. So I just created a border here at multi-layered. I used a little bit of this paper and the check background, and then I just matted it with the craft paper. I did it up here and here, just to make sure both sides coordinated, because there wasn't enough brown on this side too, so I had to have some of both papers on each side. So that's a very simple page. Nothing to it, nothing added really. I guess I could have done some embellishments, but I don't know, maybe I was in a mood. Pretty though, nice outdoor page. And now we have, oh, my husband in the hot tub. Well, I guess nobody needs to see that, but anyway. I have to scrap some pictures with people, and it was COVID, so we couldn't have people around. Anyway, I used Kiwi Lane at the bottom. I just did a tropical theme because it was hot summer, hot tub, whatever. I made it tropical. So this paper I picked for here because of the blue in the photos. I used the blue. And then I found a coordinate tropical, and this has sparkly leaves. Another coordinate to do for the frames. I did the same frame repeated on both sides. And then I found a fun title, Soak Up the Sun. And I did a pool. This is the swimming pool image that I tucked underneath it all and grouped with the title. And then on this side, I found this beautiful, what's in navy here, frame with this tropical leaf image, and I just cut it out. It's dainty, and I stuck it down. I tucked the photo under part of it and over top, and then I just said paradise, because for us, our backyard was our paradise. Did some tropical leaves on the corner beside that little title. And on this one, I added a floral border here, just a spray along the bottom. I love that. That's just makes it look prettier. And I did add some gems, big pearl type flowers. Added this is a Creative Memories border along the top because it was just too plain up there. And that's this page done. Summer, fun. Could use that for Florida or tropical page too. Okay, we have sunrise. Our backyard faces the east, so we have the most beautiful sunrise. And we're morning people, we're up early. So we're always looking at the most beautiful sunrises. And this is just one of them. One day we just decided to take some pictures of it. So I just joined them all together. It isn't a panorama, but I just made it look like one. With all the silhouettes of the trees showing in black in the photo, that gave me a theme for my page. So I did like a border of trees here. I recreated that with a border punch of trees. And then I found some tree silhouettes, and I just added them at the seam of those 2 photos and at the end here, and just created a lovely scene. This paper is a watercolor, and it was in the purples and the reds, just like the photos. So I thought that was just kind of special. And then I found this, Here Comes the Sun, and it had a tree line black silhouette as well with the sun coming up. So that was just the perfect title for this page. Really quite simple, because I didn't even mat the photos so that it would just blend and make the sunrise look bigger, because it's everywhere on the page. So that was simple and fun. No more nature. Now I have a birthday page. Okay, so I guess it was my granddaughter's birthday, and so I just created. I found this really pretty paper. She's just wearing a navy plaid, and I looked for this kind of plaid, and I didn't have it. The closest I had was this gingham print in navy, so I knew I had to use some of that. And this background of the photo looks green, so I used a green background. And then I found green and navy together, so I found this pretty paper and used the color red to pop this page. So I just created a border there on both sides along the bottom, one right up the middle of the page, and then a block of the paper over here. I think that's an 8-inch square over there. So I used my Cricut. This is in Paper Doll Teen Scene, and if you're not familiar with this cartridge, there are so many teenage boys and girls in every kind of clothing for every kind of occasion: sports, beach, prom, grad. I've even used them for a bride. There's like a prom dress sort of thing. Every kind of sports gear. They're so good, and I just love them. So they have great different hairdos. They're so cute. I use them a lot. Or the Julie Nutting doll stamps would work here too. Anyway, I just used them. I embellished her coat with red enamel dots for buttons, and put her in an outfit that sort of coordinates with all this. And she's blowing out the candles, so I found a birthday cupcake to use for an image here. And there's a title, Birthday Girl. Again, I grouped the letters together, made them closer and closer till they're touching, and then welded them so that I could easily make a title. And this frame has a big bow on it, so I quite like that. Great big bow, because it's presents and opening. There's bows and whatnot. So I just used a tab up there to fill in and add a little interest. Layered this frame on top of the photo and tilted it. I like doing that. It really draws your attention to the picture. She's so pretty. And then I used some embellishments that I had. These are creative memories. They're red flowers and green leaves. Memories. I don't like my images full. I just thought it needed something behind it, so I found this. This is a Creative Memories little frame thing. I put it behind it. I like to layer things, so I'm always layering. So anyway, put a title on that photo right there too. So that's that page, a birthday page in here, and a heritage. I have some old photos, 8x10s and that are colorized. And this is my aunt's wedding. Every once in a while, when I'm in a mood, I'll pull out one of them, because I'm afraid to do heritage pictures. I'm not keen on them. I like bright colors and bold things, but every once in a while I'll pull out one of these old pictures and scrapbook just a page for it. And this is my attempt at a heritage page. I had this paper. It was old kind of flowers on it, pictures, and there's colorized pink and burgundy flowers here on this page, and her flowers are red roses there. So I used a Creative Memories laser cut frame, and I just cut a piece off it and used it for a corner. added a border there and did a big cluster here of, these are just pictures or flowers that I had in my stash. I know I bought these at Michael's. I think they're still there. I bought them years ago. And then I added these lovely pearl border thing. I cut a piece off it and just stuck it there. So then this was, it looked very dull under here. So I had to add find some dark burgundy paper. And I used a border punch here. And I created this corner for a background behind all this. I just used some pearl gems in the middle of the flowers and up here to create a little more interest. Like this border I cut so that part of it's there and the other part's here. Anyway, that's the end of this. I hope you enjoyed it. Happy scrapping, and check out my website so you can find all the Design Space links for these there in Everyday Life Scrapbook 50. Thanks for watching. Happy scrapping.